a podcast created by two guys brought together by movement, transformed into brotherhood. The boys share their authenticity as they deep dive into what it means to explore this human experience. Shedding light on personal trials and accumulated wisdom, Conscious Collingwood is meant to provoke thought and insight to expand your personal awareness. Come along for the journey as Justin and Jeff exemplify what it means to be a man living wholeheartedly, balancing the divine, masculine, and feminine. Welcome to Conscious Collingwood.
So, we had a big week last week.
Yeah.
Did we ever? Full-on training mode. Did the movement teacher training. And that was 5 days. Around between 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day.
Yeah.
Diving into consciously leading and...
Would you call that intense?
I wouldn't call that intense. But it was a lot to grasp in the mind. It's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
Which the brain is the most inefficient organ on the planet. So, takes up a lot of energy.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't turn this on. Keep talking, Justin. I don't want things to screw up on us.
No. What, well, I was actually segueing there. Let's say, what was your experience? What was that like for you? Jeff participated.
I did participate.
And you know what? I just want to say
You need to drink first.
thank you for always believing in me enough that you would, spend your hard-earned money and learn. That means a lot to me.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you.
And Ariana, obviously, but
Yeah. I think this is the third Everlove Call It Retreat training I've been a part of. Did the Purpose Quest with Ari early on in the relationship.
early on,
And then I did the...
which is a trust building.
Yes, true. Yep. And then I did the movement experience with you and Ari. And now this.
The movement teacher training.
Yeah. And oh man, I don't know where to start. I think my why was, this whole coaching thing, and I think I mentioned at the start when we were in group and asked what our why was, and it was just trying to find some more confidence behind my voice. And I actually feel like, I wonder if I'll look back in years to come, maybe just a year's time, maybe it's 10 years time, and go, that was a pretty pivotal week, because what I think I appreciate the most about the training is the immersion. Like, there's no holding back. You're jumping into the water.
You're putting on the mic and you're
Yes.
leading.
Yeah, like day one.
Day one.
Yes.
Every day a little bit.
Yeah. And I'm so naive, like, it's a movement teacher training, and I showed up in pants and thinking that there's going to just be some light movement and, some more theoretical stuff and classroom work, call it. And nope, it was a full-on mixer class at 10 a.m. and I was fucking unprepared. And I'm just sweating my backside off, like just soaked. I'm just pretty much sitting in wet pants all day.
Dude, you're funny.
Yeah.
That's great.
But yeah, my why, trying to find a little more confidence in my voice. And again, just it's more information, right? It's more knowledge, more education. And I know day one, I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, I could have helped my brother with his surf club build. I spent this money. Why? Like, it wasn't loud, but it was there.
Yeah.
Right? And it was just because I think there's a lot going on in our life. Like I said, my brother, I've been helping him out. The family's busy. The golf club's getting busier. It's just like, it was a busy week. Because I would go, and then I'd have to go and drive Ella to volleyball, not get home till midnight, then back up at it. So thankfully, it actually was at 10 o'clock because it gave me some time to rest a little bit and and get going. So it worked out okay. But point is, busy week, busy schedule. And then by day 2, that had kind of shed a little bit. I was like, because I think getting on the mic and being immersed in that, it kind of broke the, what's that saying? Broke the ice. And just started to believe in it a little bit more. And then you could see people's progress in a day or two. Wow, their confidence is building.
Yeah.
Wow, they're taking the cues and they're implementing them. And then by Friday, everybody had a really good teach.
Yeah.
At least the group we were in.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm sure no doubt your group was the same. So it's kind of magical that way. But you know what? The honeymoon's over, and now it's about doing the work and practicing. And I woke up this morning going, okay, it's already Tuesday. I haven't moved my body in 3 days because we were away at a volleyball tournament, and that was a busy schedule, plus driving to Ottawa and back.
Jeez.
So it's like, okay, what do I got to do here to keep aligned and keep in the flow of this all? So that's the next hurdle for me. But
beautiful. Yeah, one thing Ari and I talked about changing is actually more on the mic, because that's where confidence was really growing, and that's really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You get in front of a group of people,
facilitate
a movement class where everybody feels safe and comfortable and inspired and excited, and that they got their money's worth.
Yeah.
What they came for.
Yeah, I mean that 6 to 8 hours goes by pretty fast, and I think there's probably some areas where brevity could have been used in shares and things like that, right? Because that time adds up. But people want to be seen, and people are processing emotion too. Like, it's not like you just go and learn and leave. It's like there's a lot coming up for people when they're moving their body. They're leading a group of, for the most part, strangers. And so, and especially, when we were all tapping in at the end and sharing, our takeaways and all that good stuff. Like, there was a lot of emotion for a few people, right? So it's not just about teaching people; it's your own inner work. People, it's
vulnerable to get up there. It's vulnerable to start to look at the parts of yourself that potentially you avoided to keep yourself from being seen.
Yeah.
When you're at the front of a class and you're a leader, and that's really what Ari and I, what's different about her YTT and her yoga teacher training, and with the movement teacher training as well, is who are you as the leader? We got to dissect that, because you're never going to be a good leader if you can't have self-reflection and see your blind spots, and Ariana always says the octopus on your face, because everybody can see the octopus on your face, but you can't.
Yeah.
So it's vulnerable work.
Yeah. And not to put you and Ari on a pedestal, but you're phenomenal leaders and teachers, and so those are big shadows to follow, big shoes to fill. But in your sharing that, I'm thinking about all the folks that were in the group, and there's people that stand out and have a little more confidence, and I think just in hearing what you're saying, it's a reflection of their own self-confidence and their own self-awareness, because yes, there's so many limiting thoughts when you're up there in front of the class, and these blockages and different things. I had another thought there, I've just lost it, but yeah, the point is you can almost see where people are on their evolution and their own journey, right?
It takes a lot of,
because it's little things too. It's like you can tell when someone's not being authentic. You can tell. Like you can
it's
really
so
sense,
clear.
and so it's just a reflection, and it's a mirror of what your life, how you live your life.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's honestly a very good way to do work on yourself. Because sure, you're learning to teach exercise or fitness, but at the same time, like, you're uncovering or allowing yourself to get into a situation where you're going to be faced with the things you've potentially been avoiding to action on.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. When it comes to, it's poignant. I'm just trying to articulate it in my head here and say it. When it comes to expressing yourself fully, like someone had said to Ari, like, Ari, your class is always full because you're the best. And she's like, yes, thank you, but, more or less paraphrasing, we all have that inside of us. Mm-hmm. And when we are living in alignment and full authenticity, then you're going to express yourself to the masses, whether that's a stranger on the street or a group in a classroom. And this person kept reflecting back to Ari, no, but you've got something different. And Ari's point was, no, this is that you have this inside of you, but are you willing to let people see it? That's what I took away from that interaction.
Oh my God, don't ever give Ariana an excuse that she's better than you.
No.
God, no.
And so when I saw other people lead, it is that thing, because it's like you can see the spark in them.
Yeah.
It's just they're playing small, or they're not as confident or whatever, and it's like, no, you have it. You just got not giving yourself enough credit. Mm-hmm. You know? And it's also that playfulness we have that we lose in adolescence and growing up to be an adult, right? Like that has to come through to some degree as well.
It's a childlike embodiment.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people lose it. I'm lucky. I like being a silly goose and making people laugh. So that embodied ability, I've never really lost it. Whether it was, at a party where I'm drinking and I'm loose, I'm still behaving silly.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be silly, it's just the full expression of yourself.
Yes. But that's what I'm saying is like my playful silliness allowed me to feel confident and comfortable. Mm-hmm. Once I started to learn how to teach, I was like, ooh, I've been in front of people before. And my spin on it is adding a little bit of humor. Mm-hmm. I like a little bit of levity. I think humor is engaging. And that's just what works for me. Ariana, I wouldn't say humor's her thing.
Not in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not always, yeah.
Sometimes. But like for me, it's consistent.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, so dude, it was just a good week. Lots of takeaways. I think it was structured well. Of course, there's always going to be feedback, and it's the first one you've done. I mean, I think
good.
I think I'd give you guys an A.
Thanks.
It's not a B plus or B plus plus. I think it's an A. I think it was well run.
Thank you.
I'm not saying it because you're sitting here either. Like, no. I'm trying to.
We're really proud of ourselves, and we spent some time to reflect, and there's always, we always got to make sure that we're providing the best experience, and there's a lot we can tweak.
Yeah.
But we were really proud of ourselves and really excited.
Yeah.
Because, the goal is to make sure people leave inspired and overflowing with information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you'll never learn it all in 1 week, but if we inspire you enough, you're going to continue learning and growing.
Well, I share with you too, like, you guys had Patrick Dunnan, the osteopath who practiced at Everlove, and like, I think that session was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just you and Ari speaking all week. You guys brought in other facilitators to support and share their wisdom, and Haley
Patrick,
and
Sarah.
Yeah. And impactful stuff. And I think what I appreciate about it too, and it kind of goes back to what we were just talking about, is how applicable it is to real life. Like, how are you showing up in the world? How are you showing up for your family? How are you walking into a room at a party or in a boardroom or your staff room to have a conversation? Like, how are you showing up?
Yeah.
It's not just about teaching a class. I mean, I really believe that anybody could have taken this and they would find benefit in application in their real life. 100%.
Absolutely. I think...
And that could be another target market. It's like, you don't even have to be a teacher training. We're going to show you how to express yourself and how to communicate and how to...
Be an embodied leader that can inspire people. And yeah, it's so applicable. We could do that. Funny thing is, it would be so interesting to do it for large, like a company of some kind, a tech company, or what do you call that? Fuck, I'm so disconnected from
that.
No,
you're right.
Corporate.
Everything's tech now, right?
Yeah,
so it's
I'm
just
so fucking disconnected. But that's the potential, right?
Yeah.
Ari got asked to do a corporate event, and she, this is definitely out of context, so whatever. But she asked them, like, hey, can I ask them, like, a powerful question? And the company was like, I'm not going to say the question, but it was something super light. Like, what area in your life do you seek growth? And they were like, oof, that's an edge. I don't think that should fly. That's a little much. Something like that. And Ari was like, maybe corporate wellness just isn't for me.
Yeah.
She would have her way with corporate wellness. If those were the guidelines,
yeah,
she'd be like, okay, I'm going to send everybody home crying then.
Yeah.
You know? But I think it needs it. I think it would be very impactful.
Well, I'm getting a little deep maybe quick, but they might not want that question asked because then people would start to critically think for themselves and then they don't want to work for corporate anymore.
Hey. Exactly.
Yeah. Now, there's nothing wrong with working corporate. Nope. We need people to run the world and run businesses and support and everything like that. So, but, you know.
But you can also have a corporate job that allows you to obtain money and maybe a pension and benefits for your family, and you know your focus is on maintaining a healthy relationship, and it works really well with, you know, taking the kids to daycare and then going to work and, you know, getting that consistent paycheck and supporting your family, and it may work perfectly for you. And work really isn't your passion, but you want to take, you know, you want your kids to have a good life. So, hey, that's great.
Yeah.
Potentially.
And listen, entrepreneurship isn't for everybody.
No.
Not everybody can be wired for it. I mean, you know.
I often think to myself, like, what the fuck am I doing? Why do I do this to myself? I have to think about work all the time. And I love what I do.
But I mean, not you in particular, but someone who has a lot of passion. Like, dude, you know, a really good leader or leader in a company, they might not necessarily carry all the financial risk and all the burden and stress of the owner, but a good leader in a management role is thinking like an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
They're just able to go to sleep and maybe sleep a little bit easier than maybe the owner. Yeah. They're going to still sleep with some stress and have that sense of responsibility, but ultimately they're not worried about, you know, the bottom line. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Of course they are, but they're not. It's not all on them.
Yeah.
Right? And those people are important too.
Yeah.
Big time.
I thought to myself the other day, I was like, fuck, why do I do this? Why do I do this? Like, why am I an entrepreneur? And then I thought to myself, I just thought about being cold, itchy. Like it takes me right back to building a Cineplex. Oh, it is a huge empty box. And then usually the roof isn't done when we get in there, so it's dripping. All the Cineplex I did was in winter. So it's just a big, cold
ice box.
There's no lights. It's very dimly lit. There's like the string construction lights. And then you're touching cold, long steel studs that you're driving up to the ceiling, and what you might not know is actually they're angled to bounce the sound back down. And then it's fucking full of insulation, then drywall. And I just remember being cold and itchy, and I had to be there from 6 a.m. to 3. I was like, okay, yep, nope. It's worth being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know if there's the word risk applies. Like, there's risk in anything. There's risk driving down the road. There's risk walking down the road. Like, there's risk in everything. It's
what
really
if a piece of steel fell on my face, chopped me open?
Yeah.
There's
possible.
risk.
Yeah. It's just are you willing to subject yourself to the stress of it all?
There's stress. What was Ariana's? There's only takeaways. No, there's only trade-offs.
Trade-offs, yes.
There's only trade-offs.
There's no solutions. There's only trade-offs.
That's it. No solutions, only trade-offs. Yeah.
Pretty poignant words there.
Very poignant words. Hello.
Did you have any profound takeaways from the week?
Yeah, dude, I love what I do. It's what I'm meant to do, for sure. Inspire people, educate people. I really loved it. I was really happy.
Yeah, good.
It was a long week. I'm not a 24-hour people person.
Yeah.
So I was very tired by the end of the day. One thing I would do different is I wouldn't teach classes and do a training. That was too much. Because Monday, 12-hour day. Tuesday, 14-hour day.
Oh, you could teach at night?
Yeah.
Flow class, yeah. Or recovery or whatever.
Yeah. Wednesday, 12. Thursday, that was a light day, 8 hours. Then Friday, 12-hour day. So, whew, that was on.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of brain power. So, my passion kept my energy high, but by the end of the week, I didn't want to talk to anybody. And it's tough because, I got a partner who's works remote, who is dying for some conversation. So, but she was so respectful,
that's beautiful.
so kind.
I got home Thursday night and I felt like I was drunk. I was so tired. I was just
Thursday night,
wiped. Yeah, I wasn't drunk, but I just, my body was just exhausted. I was just like, holy smokes, hit a wall. And then I kind of got a second wind in the evening, but still, I got home, I was just like, what? Like, it's kind of disorientating.
Patrick will do that to you.
Yeah. Disorientating a word? Yeah, I think
Disoriented.
it is. Disoriented.
Yeah.
But if it's the action of it, so disoriented, regardless. I think people know what I meant.
Yeah, it's okay. Wow. Lots to learn. Very exciting. I love your boots, by the way. It was great.
Thanks.
Very stylish. Yo, I got a little buzz on the other night.
Did you?
It was great. It's been a while. It's been a while since I had some drinks. I had some tequila.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Celebrating Ariana's birthday.
Must be nice. Must have been fun.
You were missed. It's just not the same without you guys, just so you know.
Thanks.
I know that you have you got kids, you gotta take care of yourself.
I messaged Dan, I'm like, I'm removing myself out of this group chat.
Yeah, it's funny.
And he starts laughing, and then I do, and he's like, wait, what's going on? He thought I was going.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, dude, I'm in Ottawa.
That's funny.
Yeah. And then Kaylee messaged me, because, yeah, I would have left too. It was getting annoying.
Yeah, that's funny.
I was like, oh, thanks for the support. I said, I just did it to be a bit of a jerk, but it was. My phone's blowing up. I'm trying to watch volleyball. I'm just like, all right, enough of this shit. Plus, probably part of me is a little butthurt too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's just like,
Sucks.
Yeah.
Just
keep rubbing salt. Just keep rubbing salt in the wound.
2 events in a row that you guys
Yeah.
weren't able to go to because of volleyball.
Yeah, New Year's might be the next one, possibly.
That's coming up, dude. Should we do another 1,000 rep workout? I have to.
Do the ultimate ladder, whatever that was that we did.
The ultimate 1,000 ladder. Yeah.
Dude,
No, it'll have to be something different.
Yeah.
We're always growing. Can't be the same.
Yeah. So in the 12-minute teach we had there on Friday, I was given leg movement, and so I'm trying to come up with a plan because Ari didn't want us to do like a 45 on, 15 off. So I was trying to come up with something. So I did this ladder, and it felt chaotic to me. I was like, this was a little audacious, but the reflection back from Ari and others, but like it worked well. But she's like, yes, like if you're going to do a ladder, it has to be structured differently. Like you can't keep people on the same pace, and like it's kind of you're in your own practice, right?
Yes, yeah.
And you're keeping people, in check and supporting them, whatever else. But
there's a structure, but it allows for people to go at their own pace.
Yeah. So, and then my filler word showed up again.
Filler
it's
words,
God!
Man. Filler words.
Yeah.
It's because it's uncomfortable. You're seeking comfort. You're seeking ease of mind. That's not always the best way forward,
It's, yeah, I don't know what you want to talk about, but, another takeaway for me, and I said this a couple times during the week, but, like, I just, like Ari said, now that the curtain's been pulled back and it's kind of revealed behind the scenes of what it takes to be a good instructor, now it's a blessing and a curse because now you're going to go to a class and you're going to be assessing the teacher, right or wrong, but your mind now is going to be like, there's a filler word. Oh, that transition could have been better, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Where was I going with that? My brain's a little foggy this morning. I got so many thoughts, Justin.
Yeah.
But no, the spider web, the matrix of it all, like how everything is so connected. When you take it one element, it's going to affect the practice, and you maybe add something else, that's going to affect the practice, and it's like, holy shit, there's so much that goes into it.
There's so much that goes into it, and it feels validating that a few people know now. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because we are always striving for excellence, and we really do expect excellence from our teachers, but it's hard when... And the reason we created the training is because, we've had a lot of auditions, and we've seen a lot of people that have been trained, but I don't know what kind of training it was. So when you see something like that, you're like, okay, well, then we gotta change it. We gotta create something that's actually gonna help people lead confidently, because the world needs it. So that's what we do.
I don't know. It's just so fascinating. It's one of those things too. Like we could talk about it here, but you almost have to experience it to understand the conversation and the context of it all. Yeah.
But we're meeting today, and we're talking about when to run it next. So it's going to happen again. We don't think it could be cut down into 4 days. It's too much. And the truth is, like, there's only, what is it? What's Ari's?
Oh, there's no solutions. There's
no solutions.
No, there's
takeaways. Or what is it called?
No, there's no solutions, only trade-offs.
Trade-offs. So, if we shorten it, it's better for us technically. It's 4 days, super immersive. But then the trade-off is the student doesn't get as much time to practice and let all that knowledge simmer.
Yeah.
And that's just not worth it for us.
No.
Quality over quantity, baby.
Yeah. But also, I think you have to understand, like, I don't think you get to a point where a student is teaching an entire class for 40 minutes or, I thought that 12 might have been deep enough, although it went by pretty quick. Like, maybe it is a 30-minute class.
Flew by.
Yeah.
No, there needs to be more
20
practice
minutes,
sometimes.
even another 8 minutes. Maybe if it's a 20-minute class. Because like I said, I think there are some areas for brevity. I think there's some areas that could have been, not sharper, but just, yeah. And it's easy to get lost in group conversation.
Easy. Everybody's got an opinion.
Yeah.
We have to get confident putting our finger on someone's lips and saying, shut up. Shut your mouth. That's enough. Enough out of you. I'm just kidding. Enough out of you.
No, but I think there are people that like to hear their voice sometimes.
Of
Or need
course.
to speak a lot to feel validated or whatever that might be. Right? But I don't know how you politely do that.
I think I might have been, not might, but when I'm in trainings, I try to ask a lot of questions or share an opinion that I think would, I don't know, increase engagement or answer a question I'm looking to get answered. So I don't blame people. I like to engage with my teachings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think it's always a good practice too. Like if we did a session or something, it's going around the circle and having someone reflect on what showed up for them, because it just stimulates that self-awareness,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then they're kind of recognizing where there could have been improvement as opposed to being told where the improvement could have been.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but also, I mean, it's important to be critical of ourselves. It's important to be critical in this situation, but also we can be hypercritical.
Of course.
Because it went exactly the way it was supposed to.
Yep, we killed it. Knocked it out of the park. There
Yeah.
we go. Or what would be a golfing term? I hit it right in the hole. Hole in one, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's fun.
How's Ottawa, dude?
It's good. Girls ended
So,
up.
not to cut you off.
You did though.
Yeah, I did. So, last night I had my first experience of what it's like to have children in athletics. Yeah. I don't have children in athletics, but Jess is now coaching the U14 rep soccer team, women's, girls. And we had to drive to Barrie. And obviously I want to support her. So I drove her to Barrie, practice at 8 p.m. So I sat in the hallway on one of those chairs with the tennis balls on the
Feet?
bottom, on the feet of it, and I was like, "Fuck me, this brings me right back."
Like the little chairs,
Yeah.
the little student chairs.
And I almost won in a hallway. So I spent a lot of time in the hallway as a kid, and I think I realized like I just liked being alone. It's kind of nice. Obviously, I like making people laugh. But then I didn't mind being alone. Like, I didn't mind being in the hallway.
That's where you write material.
Yeah. Prep for what I'm going to say next when I get back in there.
Yeah.
Let me in, coach.
I love when I see guys like you, and I know there's one or two in the men's circle, and there's others around us that like their structure, and it's
I love
routine and going to bed at a certain time and all the things. And I'm just like, oh, you motherfucker, wait till you have kids.
Yeah.
You better, not you, but like, you better learn how to surrender and adjust.
Well, there's the dance of being, initially, I don't want to be there. I'm now fighting thoughts of resentment. And so I'm like, okay, well, I can be resentful, or I can just like have the lens of compassion. Like, okay, well, hey, Jeff, Terry, they do this all the time, So I'm reframing my perspective. I'm also like, okay, I'm supporting my girl, my woman, as she goes on an endeavor of helping young girls, which is so cool. And Jess was like, she's so silly. She was like, well, I kind of expect you to be there at least 9 out of 10 times. And she's going to Barrie potentially 3 times a week. And I was like, yeah, no. Once every other week, maybe. I'm curving expectation so that when I do come, woo! It's great. But I thought it was so interesting. Like,
you're not coaching the team.
I'm not coaching the team.
9 out of 10 times, no shot.
I'm an entrepreneur. I got a lot of shit to do. Driving to Barrie, and all compassion for you guys, like, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of time. And which was nice, like, but I found it so interesting, A lot of me didn't want to be there. I wasn't even in the gym because there wasn't room for anybody to stand, so I was in the hallway.
You're having trauma. You're dealing with trauma.
Well, like, trauma. I was lucky that Dave and Steph were there, and I could have conversation. But if I was alone, I'd want to be on my phone.
How long was the practice? 2 hours or an hour?
An hour.
Oh, okay.
So not bad.
No.
But well, we were there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because she had a meeting before, and I was sitting there. So, yeah, it gave me a lot of perspective and gave me something to work on and have more compassion for the beautiful people in my life that work so hard to make sure their kids have opportunity and smooth my spiky edges.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And not be so selfish and put the people that I love in front of my own selfish desires.
Yeah, I think as a parent, not all parents do this. There's some that don't. But for us, when we see Ella light up and just the joy she's getting out of this, even in the losses and whatever else, like the camaraderie she has with the girls, it's such a lovely group. And just seeing her interact off the court and stuff too, it's just like, I don't know how we don't do it. My brother, he drove a couple weeks ago to help. We were just busy and couldn't get her there. And so Dan had taken her, and his reflection to Ella was like, I did this one night, it was a lot. Like, I certainly hope that maybe it's not right now, but obviously in years to come, you'll recognize how much your parents sacrifice, because they're doing this 3 and 4 times a week.
God, you're a superhero,
but,
dude.
Like, watching her play this weekend, like, it's just, like, listen, if she was a plug, we wouldn't be driving an hour and a half one way to practice.
Yeah.
But she's ready to go. She's up out of bed. Like on the weekend, her games were early. She had to be at the gym for 7 a.m.
Ooh.
And, alarm goes off at 5:56, and she was up. Like, I didn't have to, hey, you got to get up. Like, she was engaged and ready to go, right? And so I think it's a testament to the new team and just the different vibe and energy, and I'm feeling good about it, right? So, and it's one of those things, say she happens to get a scholarship or doesn't get one, it doesn't matter. It's creating discipline, and all the healthy work ethic things, balancing, multitasking. You got school, you got this responsibility. Like, it's shaping her into a strong woman. Mm-hmm. So, and for us, it's a sacrifice now, but we know that she'll be out of the house in a couple of years. Mm-hmm. So say we do this for 2 more seasons, in theory she could get her license in a little bit here and be driving. I don't know if we'll let her do that on the highway. Maybe once in a
Especially
while.
in winter.
Yeah. But regardless, the point is, say we drive her every day until she's 18, like, what's the big deal? It's a sliver of time,
Yeah.
you know?
It's a lot of time together, too.
Yeah, and it's not like you're having deep, impactful conversations every time, but when it's necessary, it's there, and it is. And it's one of those things, too, it's like respectful, non-verbal communication. Like, there's just there's an energy there. There's support without saying anything, right? Mm-hmm. You're there, you're with each other, and Terry and I do our best to make everything that the girls do, and it just shows that unconditional love. And I don't think it's spoiling them. I think it's just showing them authentic love, like, you know.
I'm supporting you in your dream, and
yeah,
no resentment.
No,
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. And I mean, I look back at all that my parents did for us. I mean, me specifically. I mean, I can't speak for my brothers, but getting me to the rink, driving me to the golf course to work early morning. Like, my parents used to get up every fucking morning and drive me to the golf course to work at 6 a.m. Now, I carpool a little bit with guys, but on weekends and stuff, if Ronnie Thompson wasn't driving me, my mom or dad would get up every fucking morning now.
That's a fucking name, too, Ronnie.
Ronnie Thompson, what a beauty.
Dude,
you would have loved this guy.
I knew a Ronnie.
I'll tell you some stories after.
Fuck
this
yeah,
guy
Ronnie, dude.
was a fucking gem.
Yeah.
And he was a flirt. Even as he got older,
funny.
just a flirt. And not like a perverted flirt, but just, playful.
Yeah.
And
well, hey, what was one of the teachings in the movement teacher training?
Yeah, flirt with the class.
Flirt with the class. Everybody loves being flirted with.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It gives you...
I'm being flooded with memories right now from working at Dutch Room. Like, oh my God, the shit I was exposed to as a young man that I should not have been hearing.
For sure.
Oh my God.
Welcome to drywall, bud.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. But I was just reflecting back then. My stepdad, he's the greatest influence of a healthy man in my life, and I loved hanging with my cousin who lived in Oakville, and we were in Kitchener, so he'd drive me all the time, like every weekends in a row to Oakville, and drop me off, pick me up, and sometimes I listened to my death metal and my earphones in, and sometimes we had just amazing life chats that really, really shaped me and how to think as an adult. Also just being very emotional, like, yeah, I feel very lucky because every birthday or every moment I get, I do text them and just say, like, you helped shape me the man I am today, and it's the reason I'm dedicated to serving and helping people and making the world a better place.
Yeah.
And it is just that commitment to wanting me to, loving me in the way that allowed me to say, like, hey, I want to go to Oakville and spend time with my cousin fucking around and flirting with girls. And he was like, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
And I felt very supported and loved. And then depending on what happened, sometimes we had to have deep chats. And he's always been a very deep dude with a lot of life experience, and it's just pivotal. Yeah. Taught me how to tell good stories. I was lucky. He toured with the Rolling Stones, U2, fucking all just insane bands. So he's got stories, like just fucking wild stories, all around the world, and it's cool. It was cool.
Yeah,
it's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. I think similar, like, I was reflecting on this weekend, it allows me as a son to have that much more respect and compassion for my parents, for what they sacrificed whether they had the money or not, they did whatever it took to support their 3 boys. And, no doubt that, has impact on their relationship. If they're not able to communicate effectively and, blah, 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 stress on the marriage, because they, ended up splitting up when I was 18. So my point is, like, it's a lot, and it provides me a lot of perspective for, having a lot of gratitude for how Terry and I support each other and get through the day-to-day with the business, our family, the hectic schedules. And then it allows me to also reflect on my parents and just what they sacrificed and all they would have gone through, and then have, empathy for all that they've gone through. Because just like us all, they're not given a manual. They're not, told how to parent and deal with 3 boys. You just do it, right? And you just figure it out as you go. And so it's interesting you brought that up, because I was reflecting on that this weekend too. Coming home was just, pretty grateful. And I wouldn't say that it feels like a debt that I have to repay, but I'm definitely been conditioned to feel that love and support. And so it's natural for me to want to give that to our girls. Mm-hmm. And conversely, not to speak for Terry, but I know she grew up in a house where she didn't participate in a lot of activities.
Same.
So for her, she wants to make everything and have the girls, engage as much as possible. And dabble in every sport, but it's like, if you are lit up by something and are passionate about something, Georgia with cheer, Elle with volleyball, then we will go to the ends of the earth to support that mission. And she wants to be there to support them all. And who knows if she's partially, living out part of her childhood. But if she is, who cares? That's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's
actually part, I think, one of the reasons you have children. Not to...
And it's not even so much to live for herself, but it's like it's to give the girls, and respectfully to Terry's parents, they're phenomenal. They support her in so many other ways too. But like, she wants to make sure that they're not deprived of opportunity, and
you can positively live through your children, give them what you didn't have, and I think there's destruction potentially there if you're forcing your expectations of yourself onto them, and your expectations of yourself aren't healthy. That's when it's a negative.
Yeah. You want the example?
Tell me, Jeff.
Going to the hockey rink and being the parent who's fucking screaming at the referee or screaming at your kid on the ice because they're not skating hard enough or they didn't pass the puck or something.
Yeah.
It's
you lazy piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Skate or you're walking home. Like,
what? That happens?
Dude, hockey parents are mental.
That happens?
Hockey parents, I think,
I'm sure
are some of the most damaged people.
I think it's
any sport.
Hockey,
it's, you know what though?
These could be coaching moments for you.
Sure. You don't see a lot of volatility in the volleyball gym. I'll tell you this. No. There were, let's say there's 30 courts at this provincial championship, and you might see a couple parents get riled up and whatever else, but it's pretty contained. You go to the soccer field, you go to the hockey rink.
Soccer?
I don't know what basketball parents are like, but these people are unchecked. Mm-hmm. They lack so much lack of self-awareness. It's insane. Like, and to the point where if I go to watch my nephews play hockey, I've been to a few games this year, I just go, and I typically do this anyway, but like I'll just go stand by myself. Yeah. And I try and avoid anybody that I know. Mm-hmm. And I'm just there to watch those boys and cheer when they make a good play and cheer if they make a bad play and just, support the best I can. But, dude, some of these people are unhinged. Yeah. Like, you almost need to, like, videotape them and go, hey, asshole, this is what you look like. Yeah. Stop.
You look how stupid you look.
And
I had a thought in my head there. I was like, what would be, potentially a life-changing moment for them? Sneak up, just go up behind them, put a plastic bag over their face, and then kind of choke them out a bit. And then, they'll be fighting for their life. Maybe they'll poke a hole to get some air, but that might be a learning moment for them. You know, choke them out a little bit. Maybe they pass out, wake them up, and just say like, hey, had to choke you out because you were just acting like an abusive douchebag.
Yeah.
Now that you're awake, how does that make you feel?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very interesting.
That just came to my mind.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I thought you might have wrote that in the hall last night when you were sitting on the chair with the tennis ball.
No, that
Feet
just
covers.
popped right in there.
And you know the most interesting
I guess you
things.
could do a jiu-jitsu choke too.
Yeah, you could do
just
that.
choke
You
'em
don't
up,
need
but-
the old IGA plastic bag to do it. No.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Noted.
the interesting thing, you know, when you're someone who is consciously showing up and doing the work, when you go to the hockey rink, just as the example, and you see these parents behaving, it's like they magnetize other parents that behave similarly. And if you look at someone who, let's say, has some more self-awareness, they're always by themselves watching, or they seclude themselves from the noise. And it's typically the parents that are screaming and yelling, and I'll judge, don't care. When you look at them, they just look unhealthy.
Unhealthy body.
Huh?
The body reflects the mind.
But yeah,
You wanna know?
like they're out of shape. They're drinking the triple. They're you know. It's
Oh yeah. They
like you're yelling at your child, yet you don't get in even 100 steps a day.
You're
like-
yelling at your child in public.
Yes.
Well, you shouldn't yell at your child at all.
No.
But like
yeah,
you're openly have lost yourself.
yeah.
And the note on other parents getting involved in that behavior, to get a little bit deeper here, when we look at psychology, it is, you know, we act in ways, so that person potentially is acting in a way that says like, I'm caring so much that I'm yelling at you. I love you so much and I have expectations for you because I love you. I care about you. Now, obviously, that doesn't look like love and that doesn't look like care at all. But someone that's so disconnected and obviously loves themselves and you know, if we're going now into nonviolent communication. This is violent communication. And violent doesn't mean hitting. It means, you know, potentially dangerous or hurtful. So obviously that person loves themselves in the same way that they're loving their child out loud. But that's just their internal voice to themselves. So when other people get involved, they're just seeing, oh, I'm going to love that way too. That person has the confidence to love out loud when, you know, potentially that person is at the same level of love, which is violent loving.
Yeah.
You know, sex and violence loving.
Mm-hmm.
Sex and violence is, you know, I love you when we're having sex. And I love you when I'm imposing, you know, violent communication onto you or expectations instead of empathetic and compassionate loving.
Yeah. It's a pretty good assessment. Because you're right, it's just that proverbial mirror. And I often wonder sometimes if it's, you know, the parents' insecurity too, because they just, you know, they're potentially being judged if their child isn't performing as well as they could or should.
Well, let's just call a spade a spade. They're insecure, they're unhealthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they're letting the world know.
But dude, it's just, not to beat this horse completely to death, but like when you're screaming at little Johnny for not passing the puck on time or not being in the right position, it's like they really can't hear you. Like they're in their own flow, they're on the ice, and what you're screaming is now in the past tense. The play's already happened. Like you're not even helping them. Like one helpful thing would be to say, hey, like a hit's coming. Like, hey, heads up. Like that might be something. You're not going to hear that from the stands. You're going to hear that from the bench potentially, from the coach or the other players. But my point is, what these parents are yelling is in the past. So it's not even helpful.
Well, most people are carrying all the pain from the past with them into the future, wherever they go. So
yeah, that just showed up for me. That's an interesting thought. Yeah, they're yelling about stuff that's happened in the past.
It's a great reflection.
Yeah.
It's already happened.
Yeah.
There's nothing he can do about it.
No. The fucking puck's already over there.
And you know, what's the benefit of bringing someone into the, like, obviously there's learning moments, but is that the moment? Like, is he going to remember that moment? Like, he, potentially the player already is thinking to himself, like, fuck, I should have been in this position, you know? And being reminded and just a parent digging into them about it isn't going to be like, you know what, thank you so much. Like, this is making it so much more apparent to me that I didn't do what I should have done.
Yeah.
So I know I'm hard on myself, and thank you for being even harder on me, so that I can be better.
Mm-hmm. You want me to share something else that might be deep around this?
No, let's just end the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, tell me.
The unconscious behavior as well could be, like, there is so much sacrifice, and I'm actually supporting the parents here and somewhat defending them. Like, there's so much sacrifice in the financial obligation involved that winning dilutes the stress. So if you go to here's a very real example that happened this weekend. So Ella's team goes. They lost in the semifinals. It was an amazing game. They'd only lost a couple sets all weekend, and they ended up winning a bronze medal, finishing third place. That's what bronze means. For anybody who doesn't know.
Yeah, thanks.
Just wanted to clear that up.
Yeah, great.
Fuck me. So I don't know if anybody on the team she played with for last year listens to this podcast, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. The team she played for last year only won one set all weekend.
Yeah.
They lost every goddamn game.
This year? Or last
in this tournament in Ottawa. So the team that Ella played on last season,
They suck.
they were at this tournament in Ottawa.
Yeah.
So these parents sacrificed their weekend.
Uh-huh.
It's at minimum $1,000 weekend. That's minimum.
Yeah.
Fuel, food, hotels, everything, right? It's probably beyond that too if you get to go to Starbucks a couple times.
Did you go to Starbucks?
Yeah, they just get fucking roped into it. They won one set all weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about these hockey parents and the same sacrifice. There's the equipment, there's the practices, there's the time on the road, there's the hotels and the tournaments. And I said to Elle on the way home, actually I said to her this morning, dropping her off at school, it's like, I couldn't imagine sacrificing that whole week. Sacrifice makes it sound like it's a negative, but it's like, I couldn't imagine investing that much time in a weekend and that being the performance. Like that it would have boiled over.
Yeah.
So my point is also, I think there was a nervous system stress on the parent's body of like, we need to win to make this worth something.
Yeah.
If we're not winning, then what is this all for? Right? And so that's the separation, because obviously this team learned a lot and the parents learned a lot in the sense of the team that lost every set this weekend, every game. Like, they will be better off because they'll practice differently now, and the coaches will have to make some adjustments, and maybe the parents speak up and maybe air out some concerns they might have. Like, there's going to be, in that tension, something beautiful potentially comes out of it. But deep down, that's also something to think about, is there's this hidden stress that parents are feeling too.
Yeah. Well, they lost their star player, so idiot.
Yeah, they lost a couple, yeah. Lost Ella, another girl. But dude, like, there was a lot of validation and for Ella and just I don't want to say karma, but it was poetic.
Beautiful. That's life.
Yeah.
That's called making the right decision and
Yeah.
being able to reflect on it.
Dude, it's a pretty impactful weekend. I mean, she had some angst about some things around volleyball this weekend, but she got to experience it and move through it and heal some things. And I sent that voice note to you about, like, to circle back on talking about how impactful the movement teacher training is to practical life, like what Patrick taught us in a short period of time, like his ability to articulate complex topics and dumb it down for someone like myself and others. Like I was able to use what he taught us and apply it to what Ella's going through when it comes to the nervous system and 3 parts of the brain and all that sort of stuff, and it really landed. And I was just like, I felt like a rock star regurgitating all this information.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, dude. It's magical. It's crazy.
The more you know.
But again, it's like it was dumbed down enough that I could connect some dots for Ella and help her heal and move through some stuff. It doesn't happen right away, but you bring awareness to the situation, and then she can reflect on it in real time and maybe apply it.
Yeah. I think what helps, Patrick he's a genius, and he's a terrible artist.
Yeah, he didn't put much effort into that skeletal surface.
It worked, but I can only imagine that we'll have to hire a professional artist next time.
Yeah, that army Drew was pretty lame.
It was a worm. It was a worm, or honestly, it could have looked like it might have been a penis. But sorry, that's my comedian coming out there.
Yeah,
can't help myself. Wow, dude. Talking about the movement teacher training and then deep dive into parental psychology.
You never know where we're gonna go.
You don't. I needed a warm up there. To be honest, I haven't spent enough alone time yet to settle back into myself. After a week like that, you don't realize how much spaciousness is sometimes necessary to have energy again.
Yeah. I mean, just as us as students are focusing, there's likely more focus coming from you and Ari because, you're responsible for sharing knowledge with, 8 people and answering their questions and being on. And if someone's saying something, processing if I need to correct them or adjust what they said or bring it to light. And so, yeah, your brain is not, you're processing 12 hours, like it's just nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was just the classroom setting, like you said, like to be in teaching on Monday morning, teaching 2 strength classes, then a flow class, like that alone is enough energy.
Yeah.
And then you got to come and sit down and lead and instruct and share, like.
I did that Wednesday and Friday too.
Yeah.
3 back.
Mine's just a goddamn pretzel, or a puddle rather.
Yeah.
Well, both. A puddle pretzel.
God, a wet, soggy pretzel. Fuck, nobody likes that shit. Just, it's now twice the size.
Yeah. It's inflamed.
It's inflamed. Damn, dude. Oh.
9:39, Justin.
We got men's group.
Yeah.
Thank you for being with us. We love recording these podcasts. If you know anyone who would resonate with today's episode, we would be grateful if you would share it with them. If you have any questions or comments, do not be shy and reach out. We would love to connect with you. Until next time, be well, love yourself, and live consciously.